Certain stories get connected to us our whole lives. I remember the time I got sick at the Thanksgiving dinner table. I was probably 5 years old, and every year that seems to come up one way or another. The reading today that Jesus proclaims from Isaiah carries us through our whole life. It appears at our weekly Mass twice a year and on 2 Sundays, in addition to a number of sacramental liturgies as well. It's a foundational part of who we are as missionary disciples of the Lord. We're called to what Jesus proclaims today. First, to bring glad tidings to the poor, to know who the poor are. I have a friend who's a pastor, and he wanted to start a van ministry in the parish to reach out to the poor. He asked his parishioners what they thought, and they said, sure, but there are no homeless or needy around here. Well, currently they serve over 80 people a week. Pope Francis often refers to the poor as invisible. Yet the challenge is for us to bring them forth as part of the treasure of the church, for they bring us closer to Christ. Secondly, to heal the brokenhearted. Recently, I reread a spiritual classic, The Wounded Healer, by Henry Nouwen. He writes, when our encounter with our woundedness is real, we become a source of life for others. Perfection is not needed, but to heal broken hearts, we need to expose our wounded hearts, like the Sacred Heart of Christ, with one arm pointing to his heart and the other pointing to ours. Give me your hearts and behold my heart, because they are united. Third, to give liberty and release to captives. Now, we may not think we know any captives, but we do. Prisoners of their past, prisoners to bad reputations, prisoners to pain and suffering that we sometimes place on one another, prisoners of mourning and sadness. Being a merciful and forgiving believer can free others from their shackles. It's in our power as the people of God to give people the security, the freedom they deserve as a gift from God. Once again, and this time from Jesus himself, we hear this passage from Isaiah. Yes, Joseph's son indeed fulfills it and calls us to allow that passage to more deeply root us in the service of the gospel, to bring glad tidings to the poor, release to prisoners, and to heal the brokenhearted, that we too may know God's consolation and its fulfillment in our lives.